Hi, my name's Howard Blake. I'm a videographer, editor and 3D designer. I've been making small budget films now for a few years. I have a movie on Amazon Prime and my favourite genre of course is sci-fi. And I fell in love with Blake 7 back in 1978 when I was 7 years old. I was very upset when I became 8 years old. 40 years later, in January this year, I started watching the entire box sets of all 4 series of films. One of the things that jumped out on me while I was watching it was not so much the wobbly sets, but how the models and special effects have aged by today's standards. Very often when the Liberator was portrayed of getting closer or further away from you, it was just simply a picture of the ship, not even the model. And you see this quite often in all of the episodes. You know, they kind of cut the corners a little bit. I think it's well known in the Blake 7 community that they only had a £50 budget in 1978, and unfortunately it ain't a lot of money now, and it wasn't a lot of money back in 1978, and this really shows. So I thought to myself, I wonder if I can use my skills as an animator to improve the often overlit and lack of movement in the ship models and various other effects. I chose the episode Time Squad to work on, not because it's the easiest, but because it's one of my favourite episodes. As you all know, the show in 1978 was recorded in standard definition, using 16mm traditional film for the outside recording, and in the studio it was shot onto videotape, and then combined together to make up an episode. The original film of the recordings is probably lost somewhere in the BBC archives, so the chances of me getting my hands on that to re-edit is frankly zero. What I have done though is taken the best copy of Time Squad, which happens to be on the 40th anniversary DVDs. By far and away it's the cleanest version of all the episodes that were made onto DVD. The Liberator, probably one of the most important aspects of Blake 7, was originally a 3-foot model made out of metal. It was a very heavy object, and the crew that filmed this of course included Matt Irvine. I chatted with Matt at one of the conventions recently, and he confirmed it was very difficult to manoeuvre because of the weight. Hence that's why it never moved particularly fast in any of the episodes, simply because they couldn't move it. I've used a popular 3D render software to recreate the Liberator, based on a model by Tyrannus. This to my mind is one of the most accurate 3D models. Now all the shots of the Liberator shown are the early concept versions, but when I upload my version of Time Squad in a couple of weeks, you can see the final versions. Along with replacing the models in the episode, I have upscaled the standard definition footage, which was 720 by 480 on the little TVs that were abundant in the 1970s and 80s. I've upscaled this to 1280 by 960. Still a square format, 4:3, but I've resisted the temptation to upgrade it to 1080p widescreen footage because you'll just lose the top or the bottom of the footage. And I don't want to do that. I want to try and keep it in its original state. I've also added effects to the Liberator's handguns and also some sound effects to really convince you the power of the guns. Because in the original scenes, of course, the gun illuminated, but you had a small sound effect, but no visuals at all. The actors would just simply respond and, fly through the air or do whatever they had to do. I've also built the entire Oldbury nuclear power station from scratch in 3D, and then I've blown it up, so that effect is now in the episode. And I've also replaced this rather dismal looking sparkler, which is right at the end of the episode. This was used by the BBC to demonstrate the demise of the base on the planet. So a very, very poor looking special effect. There's various other improvements along the way. There's way too many for me to list here. Finally, I've added 2 pieces of music to further enhance your enjoyment. One piece with a brand new sequence where the shuttle is brought on board. In the old shots, the docking bay was a strange sort of hexagonal box, which was never really revealed where it lived on the ship. I've asked the fan base and no one's sure where it was. So in the new sequence, I've taken the liberty of placing the docking bay in one of the 3 cells. Now these were the pods that were connected to the main body of the Liberator. And I presume for such a large ship that there would be access to this area. The second piece of music is used to enhance the excitement and panic when a very weak Olag Gan hears Blake's frantic message about teleporting them up And of course he does it just in time. Now the previous version of this just really doesn't have anything at all, and I felt that this really could do with a bit of tension music.
Can you hear me? It's going up. Teleport now!
Now I know that some people, some Blake 7 fans, purists, will throw their arms up and cry, what's the point of living anymore? What's this man done to this film? But I'm hoping that you'll see it as improvements. And I'll post an update to this channel when it's complete. Now at last you can see the Liberator as I feel it was meant to look and move. The episode itself may well be a few seconds longer or shorter when it's complete. I can't be too sure until it is complete. Anyway, I hope I can get your support for the new experience, and I'll speak to you soon. Thanks for watching.